Hey, I'm Jim Barry. Welcome once again to Miami Life, the show that peels back different layers of life here in South Florida. Well, 7 years ago, all of us here were shaken by the unspeakable tragedy of the Parkland shooting. 17 lives snuffed out in that senseless tragedy. Parents left to cope with the unthinkable. Today on Miami Life, we lead off with the novel way one Parkland parent has sought to cope. It is a path based in hope and faith, but maybe not science. At first glance, Linda Heithouse comes across as your typical South Florida mom. But she says she has cultivated a gift to see far beyond what most of us can with our own eyes.
Let me see what else he's going to do.
As a medium, Heithouse says she can spiritually connect with the dead. Today, she says her connection is with Joaquin Oliver. The 17-year-old was one of 17 people killed in the Parkland tragedy 7 years ago.
A lot of times Joaquin plays music. Right now he's playing the Rolling Stones, Beast of Burden, which I actually hear the songs in my head.
Heithouse is relaying all of these messages in a reading with Joaquin's mother, Patricia Oliver, who is convinced of Heithouse's ability as a psychic go-between linking her to her late son.
So maybe that's something you should listen to. Maybe you'll hear it when you leave here. Maybe it'll play on the radio.
Maybe, because I usually play this adult radio, The Coast.
Okay.
So maybe they're going to play it for me on my way back.
Yeah.
For the past several years, Oliver and Heithouse have become best friends after the worst of circumstances.
I don't know what I do next.
Oliver was introduced to Heithouse through other Parkland families, and Oliver has leaned on her ever since. Heithouse calls her psychic powers innate, further developed through years of study.
This is very strong. He took your hand and he said, "Thank you for telling my story."
Always me ready.
Yep. There's no one better to tell my story than my parents.
That's true.
We don't need your guns. We don't need your money. And we're going to get rid of your politicians.
Patricia Oliver and her husband Manny have been unrelenting in telling their son's story as a crusade against gun violence. Psychologically, it has been a heavy lift. Oliver says the messages she gets from Heithouse, from or about Joaquin, help relieve the burden.
It's perfect, the gift that she has.
And why is it good for you?
Because I need to know about Joaquin. I didn't finish my role as a mom.
So she helped bring you peace?
A lot. 100%. I told Linda always, I don't know what will be my life without you on it.
I'm happy that I can bring some kind of peace into her day. She doesn't need any sadness. She's had enough of that, and it's my joy. It's my greatest joy to connect with him for her.
Psychiatrist Dan Bober knows of Heithouse's connection to Oliver. He says science cannot either condemn or condone the practice of mediumship.
This phenomenon is really at the crossroads. It's at the intersection of science, of psychology, of spirituality, and personal belief. Do I know for sure that she actually spoke with him, Joaquin? I don't know that. She may not even be lying. She may believe that she has, or maybe she really did. There's just really no way to know.
What would you say to those who might say, this is just feeding an unhealthy delusion?
I would say that you haven't gone through what this woman has gone through. You haven't lost your son the way this woman has. And if she finds comfort in this, then what is really the harm in it?
Playing, smiling.
Both Oliver and Heithouse shrug off the skeptics. Heithouse usually charges for her readings, but says she has not taken a dime from any of the Parkland families. In Oliver, Heithouse feels she has gained a lifelong friend. Through Heithouse, Oliver feels she has regained some joy in living.
It's about time. It's about time that you can laugh. It's about time that you can understand that there is more than mourning Joaquin.
I have to thank Patricia Oliver for being so frank. That, by the way, was a picture of her family. She mentioned to me that Their daughter recently got married, and she and her husband made a point of making certain that they would be happy and joyous on that joyful occasion so that they could move on, and Linda Heithaus believes she has helped them do that. Up next on Miami Life, driving along Alligator Alley at night, boy, can be nerve-wracking because it's almost pitch black. Look at that. Well, it turns out the darkness is by design. We'll explain why. And the famous Miami Heat mural in Winwood's just got a makeover. And welcoming the team's newest edition, we'll talk to the artist behind the artwork. Hey, that looks like number 22, but who's number 22 now? That's the question. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Driving along Alligator Alley can be a real treat. During the day, you get an incredible view of the Everglades. But at night, that drive can be terrifying because it is so dark. There actually is a good reason for that. Austin Carter explains how the darkness may be protecting wildlife.
On Alligator Alley in the middle of the night, the chirping of crickets is broken by the sound of passing vehicles. And for folks behind the wheel, the focus is on what you can see, or really what you can't.
The visibility it's poor. It's very poor.
Lamantha Miller goes across Alligator Alley weekly for work. It's a white-knuckle drive.
And the big trucks, oh my God, they don't slow down.
So right now we are rolling westbound on the alley. It's about 5:42 in the morning, and this is what we're seeing. Take a look in front of us. It is pitch black out, and you'll also notice there's no light poles anywhere to be seen. That's for a reason. The alley is essentially a wildlife corridor spanning 80 miles along I-75, cutting through the heart of the Everglades. Artificial light can disrupt all sorts of wildlife, many of which are found inside Big Cypress National Preserve, which is west of Broward County on the way to Southwest Florida. It's a designated dark sky park, a protected area of natural darkness. Plus, the Everglades is a major flyway for birds. The area is also home to alligators, panthers, snakes, and turtles.
That's one of my fears as well too, because when I'm driving, I also have to look out for them.
The uniqueness of this stretch of I-75 was clear to the state's Transportation and Wildlife Departments, and in the 90s, wildlife crossings were built. There are close to 40 wildlife crossings along Alligator Alley. This is one of them. So I'm standing in the median. You can see traffic is going by in both directions. The crossing itself, it dips under I-75. You could see that big empty space there. It's surrounded by fencing. Now, that helps to funnel the wildlife right to the crossing, but the fencing also prevents wildlife from crossing traffic on the alley. Here's a crossing in action. A mother panther leading her kittens through one of the crossings.
That's not only important for motor safety, but also for the wildlife safety and that connectivity, connecting one habitat of the Florida Panther National Wildlife Refuge over to the Big Cypress National Preserve.
The alley was originally called Everglades Parkway, but the name Alligator Alley stuck, and not for the exact reason you might think. A Tampa Bay Times article from the 90s says AAA, the American Automobile Association, coined the stretch Alligator Alley as an insult. The state adopted the title anyway, flipping the meaning to bring in visitors.
It's an open road, and it really challenges your integrity as a driver.
Florida Highway Patrol Lieutenant Gregory Bueno patrols most of the alley. He says staying alert and keeping a safe distance at all hours of the day is key to a safe journey.
All right, Austin, thank you so much for that story. Not much can be done about the lighting, but there is a project underway to upgrade reflectors on the road and install better signs to enhance nighttime visibility for drivers. That work is happening on a 14-mile stretch of the alley in Broward County, west of the rest stop. For my money, the answer is simple. Just drive during the day, then you can see where you're going, no problem. All right, let's switch gears and talk basketball and the Miami Heat. Man, talk about some drama they went through lately. But it's all over and done with now. Jimmy Butler is gone as he wanted, traded to Golden State. In his place, Andrew Wiggins and a couple of other players. And guess what? Now that Jimmy's out of town, his #1 fan has also switched from Jimmy to Wiggins and depicting him on a beautiful new mural in Winwood. We're talking about Kyle Holbrook, who's a terrific mural artist, and he is with us now to talk about the work that he has done. Kyle, welcome to Miami Life.
Oh, welcome. Thanks for having me.
I have to say, man, I've been watching you work from afar, and I just kind of felt that back in the day, you were Jimmy Butler's #1 fan.
Well, I'm a Miami Heat fan, so no matter who's on the team, I'm going to root for the front of the jersey, Miami Heat. And so, certainly was a fan of Jimmy Butler. He did a lot for us, for the Miami Heat. Almost took us to 3 finals if he didn't miss that one shot.
Yeah.
But now he's not on the team. So he had to go from the mural.
I got you. And you worked quickly to make that change. Tell me what inspired you to so quickly move and make that change.
Yeah, so the mural's on Pinnacle Affordable Housing Community. And so I do a lot of murals on Pinnacle buildings. I always understand the power of public art and how it makes the community better. And so I talk with the CEO, Louis Wolfson, and I take feedback from the community about what they want to see in the mural. And so we sit and talk about it, but we really want the mural to be reflective of what Heat Nation, would like to see on the mural.
It looks a lot of determination. I've seen Andrew Wiggins. I think you bulked him up a little bit, which is okay, but I think you're making a symbolism there that the Heat is strong, right?
Heat is strong, the future's strong. We're really leaning into the young players, so there's going to be some of the new additions, but some of the young players like Jovic, who's on there small, he deserves a bigger role. And so, taking feedback from, the community, and, it's time to really lean into this Heat Nation, and the future looks bright.
I have to say, I noticed a lot of people showing up at the mural as this whole drama was playing out. Did you feel their energy?
Yes, I mean, not more than just feel their energy, and people will let you know how they're feeling. People scream out the windows and talk about the mural, and so families come every day to view the mural. It's unofficially become the official Heat mural, the official unofficial Heat mural. It's been 5 years. There's been a lot of iterations and changes, and the community comes to see, what's been happening in different changes. So it changed to no comment after being, saying I quit before.
Obviously, you're making a statement here.
Well, yeah, talking about the coffee. Had to take some jabs, at him. But I really appreciate. I hope that he does well with the future of his career on Golden State. But, he had to go because this is a Miami Heat mural, and so we wanted to be showing that the future's bright and get the new players on there. And so it's hopeful for the community, hopeful for Heat Nation. And, he's and Wiggins is strong, his owner bigger. And, it's just a start. He might might tone him down a little later.
Yeah. Well, he's a former All-Star, and, of course, he's a guy who's played in championships at a level. So he
won the championship.
Absolutely. Yeah. So he knows what it's all about. By the way, do you know if he's seen the mural or has any reaction to it as of yet?
Who, Wiggins?
Yeah.
I have not checked to see. I'm sure he's going to hear and see, the show here right now. But, we're going to do an official unveiling as we get closer when Jimmy comes back on March 25th.
Yeah, I think that's right.
A completed mural, and then everybody will see it then.
Ooh, can't wait for that. Very quickly, how'd you get interested in art? You told me you're from Pittsburgh. You've done murals all over the world. You were just at the Olympics. This is really a wonderful thing that's developed for you.
Well, I always wanted to be an artist. Mom and Dad were teachers. I've been here in in Miami for 16 years now. I used to do murals with Juwan Howard's foundation, where LeBron and Wade and all of them would sign the murals once a year during a Juice foundation. So. And UD has come to several murals I've done, and so this has really humbly become one of the voices for Heat Nation. And so come down, hit me on Instagram, let me know who's missing on the mural, because we got some of the legends. Jimmy Butler, once he retires, we'll have to add him again because he's done some great stuff. But now, not now.
I'm sure he'll be glad to hear that. Kyle, thank you so much, man.
Hey, thank you.
And appreciate your work. And art speaks to life, and you're speaking it very well.
Well, honor to be on here with you. You're a legend yourself, so thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, speaking of the Heat, this week, a 99-year-old diehard fan of the team attended her very first Miami Heat basketball game. Wow. CBS Sports anchor Mike Cunha caught up with her courtside.
While Heat players went through warm-ups, a special fan was gearing up for her first Heat game. At 99 years old, longtime Heat fan Marie Paredes finally made it to the Heat's house. How excited are you today?
Oh, quite excited to be here, especially.
She'll be 100 in May, so her nephew Dan wanted to make sure she got to a game.
I flew in, brought her this game, and she's been looking forward to it, and she loves all the players, never misses a game, and she was just telling me this summer how much she loves it, and I said, I got to get her a game. She's coming up on 100, this is a special event for her.
Making her visit extra special was getting to actually meet players coming off the court. First, Terry Rozier stopped by.
Congratulations. How you doing?
Then, Kevin Love, Andrew Wiggins, and finally, Nikola Jovic. She had marching orders for him.
Tell him what you want to tell him.
I will, for you, I will.
Before moving to South Florida 40 years ago, Marie was actually a Celtics fan. Are you a little divided tonight because the Celtics are playing, or are you good with the Heat?
I am somewhat, yeah.
You were a Boston Celtic fan. Did you like Pat Riley back when he was with the Lakers?
Oh, I think he was okay.
He was just okay. She's okay with Pat Riley now, but she loves Tyler Hero. Even got a little bashful when we brought him up. Thank you for the time. You have anything to say to Tyler Hero, if you could? Hi. Marie's 100th birthday is May 25th, so if you see her at a Heat game or somewhere on the street, make sure you say happy birthday and go Heat. At the Kaseya Center, Mike Cunio, CBS News, Miami.
Love it, Mike. Thanks so much. Next on Miami Life, we're going to bring you the story of how a thriving black community located not far from Winwood, in fact, was upended practically overnight. We'll hear from the descendants of those families. Welcome back to Miami Life. As we observe Black History Month, we bring you a piece of Miami history you may not know about. In 1947, dozens of black families that made up a thriving community in Allapattah were suddenly forced out of their homes with very little notice. CBS News Miami's Tanya Francois brings us the story of the Railroad Shop Colored Edition.
My family is from Railroad Shop Colored Edition out of Miami.
This is Rebecca Jenkins McSwain.
And the city of Miami took their property.
In this video taken by a historian with the Bowstrawn Historical Resource Center, she tells the story of 45 families who were given just 2 hours to pack up and leave their homes by sheriff's deputies.
So my grandmother lived in the first section, and they just put those people out in the rain and locked their doors.
According to newspaper reports at that time, 119 people, including 70 children, were forced to get out.
The stories that I heard, it was raining, they were throwing things out in the streets, there was fire.
Alexis Smith Parker's family called the Railroad Shop community home. First established in the 1920s, the area from 12th to 14th Avenues and from 46th to 50th Streets, it was made up of dozens of black homeowners and black-owned businesses.
Pictures here of the residents with all of their materials out in the front lawn. You see furniture here, some people rolling up mattresses, looking like they had very little time before they had to evacuate their homes.
I am standing in the middle of what was the Railroad Shop Colored Edition. Back in the 1940s, this community was surrounded by an all-white area. They decided that a new park and new schools were needed, and they said they wanted to build it right here. So today, this is Charles Hadley Park, and over there is what was Allapattah Elementary and Allapattah Middle Schools.
It's funny because they built it for the whites, but now our school is basically predominantly black.
The schools have been renamed and are now called Lenora Braden Smith Elementary and Georgia Jones Ayers Middle Schools, after childhood friends who both lived in the railroad shop. And you are the?
I am the daughter of Lenora Braden Smith. She would always point over here, it was a avocado tree. She said that tree was in their backyard. So they grew up in this neighborhood.
Smith Parker's cousin is Oscar Braden. His family was also evicted.
Their belongings were put on the street, and the houses that were left were demolished.
Demolished through eminent domain. The families say they can't imagine what life would have been like for them if their family members, the people who built the railroads in Miami, had been allowed to live in homes they owned.
This is probably one of the richest areas around in Miami-Dade County.
And what was $10,000 in 1947 is probably worth $750,000 today.
And nothing for it?
No, just a bitter taste, a bitter memory.
It's been almost 80 years since the removal of the families from the railroad shop, and their relatives, their descendants, they say they never got any compensation from the city. In Miami, Tanya Francois, CBS News, Miami.
Tanya, thank you. And we'll be right back. Well, next week in Miami Life, we're going to take you behind the scenes and show you how the bands and performers prepare and rehearse to entertain you on the high seas. It's an intense process to get ready for that months-long gig on a cruise ship, and a lot of it happens right here in South Florida. I visited Carnival Cruise Line's rehearsal studio in Davie to watch the performers get their acts tight, and I asked The hard-hitting questions. Okay, here's the other big question. Anybody get seasick?
Seasick? Well, not yet.
Good.
Actually, not yet.
That's good to know. We're going to give you a backstage pass to see how all the great entertainment you see on cruise ships comes together. That is next week on Miami Life. That's going to do it for this week's Miami Life. Remember, we'll see you every Thursday at 6:30 on the stream. You can also watch all Miami Life episodes on demand on our YouTube channel. I'm Jim Barry. Thanks for watching. See you next time.